If you leave Lake Livingston State Park, drive past the lake, and then through the Sam Houston National Forest, you'll reach a hidden gem, one of the least visited parks in the state of Texas. And that's a shame because it's pretty great. You can visit historic buildings. You can walk the historic route of the El Camino Real. And you can learn all about the history of the area in a new, beautiful visitor center.
In fact, this section here along Highway 21, it was known as the Post Road, but then it became paved over and became Highway 21.
Okay.
So that's actually the route that the old Post Road followed, aside from a few curves here and there.
Excellent. Thank you. It's Mission Tejas State Park. If old Johnny said it, it must be true. Let's go home. The original mission was moved to San Antonio, so the building we now have is a CCC reconstruction. I'd say it's cool enough to paint. That mighty sigh denotes my extreme frustration. There has been a spider building a web across, and every time I back up, I get spider webs on me. It has started raining. The bugs won't leave me alone. In short, it hasn't been the most fun painting day. What are you gonna do? Well, at least I have an answer to how it was happening. You son of a gun. He did not like cadmium yellow. Let's see if we can't save some part of a day I had rued. It's the perfect place for a bathtub. Why wouldn't you want to look at all this? The final trail of the day and of the trip. I'm hiking into my campsite, primitive site at Mission Tejas. This trail is like a highway. Look how wide this thing is. But it is true to advertising. It's a steep ravine, and we're continuing to drop down. It would be dark by the time I reached the campsite, but let's leave the park to show how I addressed some of the frustrations with the painting. Well, I'm back in the studio, and there's so much about this painting that really, really bothers me that I can't just let it be. The trunks here are too flat. I love the texture of the big loblolly pines. I'd like to put some of that in, bring these a little bit forward, maybe make this one a little bit wider. Everything about the side plane of the church makes it feel like it's tangential, like it just continues to run with the front plane. So I need to force this to diminish a little bit more. That's also why it's feeling really, really long. And when you were there, it felt a little bit taller. This seems a little bit too massive. So I've got to shrink this and tilt this, I think move this out a little bit and drop all this stuff down. And I knew when I was painting that I had messed up some of the drawing. That was the biggest frustration. But there's also some value frustration where I think this plane should be lighter because it was sort of an overcast day. So these should be pretty dramatically lighter, so to speak. And this plane should be dramatically darker, so to speak. So I'm going to do some pretty massive revisions, I think. See what I can get out of this and if I can't salvage this somewhat so that I don't just absolutely hate it. Though you may not be able to get away from the sound of cars because it's close to the freeway, Mission Tejas is one of the few Texas state parks that has hike-in camping that makes you feel like you're actually in the back country, which makes it one of my favorites almost automatically. If you visit Mission Tejas yourself and you've got the time, you should also head down the road a bit and check out the Caddo Mounds State Historic Site. They've got their own section of the historic Royal Road, and lots of information on the indigenous people who lived there. Just look at all those parks crossed off, the entire eastern portion of the state. I do have a couple big trips coming soon though, but for now, thank you for watching this tour of the Piney Woods region.